You are Locked On Ole Miss, your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, welcome to this Locked On Ole Miss live stream. We're talking about the transfer portal and recruiting as we are coming to a close. Ole Miss starts class Monday, although people can enter all the way and through the last drop add date. So we'll see exactly what happens. If you remember correctly, that's when Michael Trigg and Jackson Dart entered last year. Down below, you can see all of our social information. You can check those out. I'm usually posting on Twitter. You can see the Twitter address at the Stephen Willis, and I do spit a lot of opinions and nonsense on there. So you can give me a follow. Morning walks are pretty big. Michael Speck says, let's keep the defenders coming. Mom Spaghetti with Hi Stephen. I hope everybody is having a good weekend. Yeah, we're going to get into that 50 Cafe. We're going to talk about the receivers and all that. And we are not going to talk basketball, Craig Murray. Craig Murray says, can Lane Kiffin coach basketball as well? We are not going to talk basketball. It's the craziest thing. I can do a football video and get 2,000 views. I can do a basketball video and get 120 at this point. So that shows you where our fan base is at the moment. So, all right. Let's first of all talk about the defensive side of the ball, because everybody has been going crazy about the defensive side of the ball and the lack of numbers going over there. Sorry about that. Real quick, David Gibson, A.D. Mitchell's going to Texas, by the way. All right. So everybody is talking about the lack of defensive players, and because of the Pete Golding hiring, that's really slowed down defensive players. And there's going to be news flashing all around. Everybody's going to have opinions, and people are visiting, but it's mostly the defensive side of the ball. Monty Montgomery at linebacker is an upgrade at that position. A linebacker group of Jeremiah Jean-Baptiste, and I'm using these players for revenue. The same way that everybody else is. Mom Spaghetti. Anyway, appreciate it. So, you look at a situation on the defensive side of the ball. Jeremiah Jean-Baptiste and Monty Montgomery, huge upgrade at the linebacker position. That was a major hole that has been filled a little bit as well. So, whenever you look at the defensive side of the ball, you need the linebackers to be solid. They're going to be, okay. Real quick, Mom Spaghetti is about to get banned because he wanted to be cute. And if he doesn't like it, he doesn't need to be here. Simple as that. And I don't think there's a situation where you need to do that. If you don't like it, do something else. So don't interrupt the fun for other people. So simple as that. It's not hard. So just a second. And who is... but anyway, we're going to live stream. We're going to have a good time anyway. But somebody being upset about what's going on, that is his business. So, anyway, defensive side of the ball. Everybody is going to wonder about exactly how Ole Miss is going to do. I don't even know what the heck is going on. So we'll see what's going on with that. Anyway, ignore that person in the chat. They're just crazy. So, what are you talking about? Somebody is obviously upset because there's not a lot they can do, and they're jealous of success. I hate that they're ruining the chat for everybody else, but that's crazy. Absolutely nuts. So, anyway, Mom Spaghetti. See you. So, understand that Ole Miss on the defensive side of the ball has a long way to go. And they need to build the defensive side of the ball to fit the scheme that they are going to try and do. And that is the main thing. System fit's going to be the most important thing moving forward. And with these transfer portal players that are that could come in, that might be coming in over the next couple of days, there are fits that can be attained, essentially. So, you look at the cornerback that was committed to Ole Miss from North Texas. Now, there might be rumors of something going on. So, good grief. This person's crazy. John Avery hates me. John Avery was on my show. Good grief. I can't stand immature people. Absolutely nuts. So, now, when you have what's going on defensively, sorry about all that. I mean, there's crazy trolls that pop up from time to time that just want opinions or whatever. But whenever you're looking on the defensive side of the ball and what's going on with Ole Miss and how Ole Miss can build their side of the defense, it's important this transfer portal is going to kind of be what it is. And whenever, let's see. Hey, Aiden, going back and forth. So we're building exactly what's up. So I'm sorry I got a little bit flustered by the troll and the Twitter thing. I just wanted to get that out of there. I don't care if people don't like me. I just don't want it to make it not fun for you. Some people are just crazy, but it is what it is. So defensively, they have some work to do. They have some holes to fill. And there's rumors back and forth. I've never been in a Trenton SIP. What is going on? That is so weird. So let's see. Nathan Garrard asks, any news on A.D. Mitchell? Looks like he's going to Texas, by the way. So it is what it is. It is going to always be that way. Now, offensively, I do think this class is as good as last year's. And everybody talks about the Jackson Dart and the Michael Trigg and the Zach Evans and everything that made the Portal King what he is was good. It was what it needed to be. And because of that, this year there was high expectations going on. So the spaghetti thing is super silly and thus... Yeah, thank you, Michael Ward. On the offensive side of the ball, this transfer portal class is kind of at the same place, at least, that it was last year. Chris Marshall, super talent. If you look at his film, he has Laquan all over his game. Absolutely all over his game. And if you look at Walker Howard, absolutely amazing quarterback. Nuts. Running back, we didn't really need a running back, but Kedrick Riscano, a high school player, if you look at him, he had 100 yards in the All-Star game last night. Game-winning touchdowns. If you look at rushing numbers in All-Star games, they're usually not very high because there's not much time to build a repertoire between the offensive line, and the defensive line usually dominates that game. If you look at All-Star games, it's usually dominated by the defense. It just is what it is. There's not enough time to build that camaraderie over a week. So when you take him, you take Walker Howard, and we will talk about the quarterback situation in just a second. You potentially, Caden Priestcorn, Trey Harris, they have taken the offensive side of the ball and made them really good. Put weapons all over the field. Offensive line, they brought in a ton of experience. And because of that, the offense is in a place that could be really, really explosive next year. Now, we have a quarterback competition coming up, and we are going to talk about it pretty much every day for the next 6 months. I mean, it's going to be a big deal. Spencer Sanders versus Jackson Dart versus Walker Howard is going to be a fun thing, and subscribers are going to absolutely flock to the channel. And honestly, that'll be good for me, but hopefully this thing can be fun for everybody because we want it to be fun for everybody. Now, if you take that and you look at that offensive side of the ball and you realize they have work to do on the defensive side of the ball, and I've told you guys many times, if Ole Miss can be in the top 30 defensively, they have a chance to be a 10-2 team as they stand now. UAB did have one of the leading rushers in America. Craig Murray asked that question. Mark Coleman says, what is the single portal fix for red zone? Tight end? Tight end is a major help on that. Also slot receiver. A lot of this offense goes through the middle of the field. I think, and this is just me talking. And so if you look at it, the quarterback and the defensive side of the ball and everything, they have to work the middle of the field. It's so important to this offense. There are several things that cause the offense and the red zone problems that we saw later in the year. Not as many of them are offensive line based as you will think. If you look at the way this offense runs at high efficiency, think of when Matt Corral was the quarterback of this offense in 2021, even in 2020. In 2022, it looked differently. Now, I understand that they focused on the run game and did things in the run game that was important and a little bit different. Okay? I understand that altogether. Now, one thing that they couldn't do in 2022 is affect the linebackers in the way that 2020 and 2021 did. Through the jet sweeps. We were unable to run jet sweeps very much, okay? Because of snap problems early in the season. So that basically eliminated that from the game. Now, in turn, that made the linebackers for not really have to worry about side-to-side movement. Other than an outside zone, not much was happening. And that's one of the reasons Zach Evans was able to cause a little bit of problem outside on toss sweeps and things like that, because that was the way they chose to affect linebackers. So if you look at that, and then you take the middle of the field, where the RPO game in the middle of the field was stunted, let's say. I like Jackson Dart. I think he has all the talent in the world. I refer to him as an unlimited ceiling, kind of a low floor player at this point, though. And in the middle of the field, they were nervous in play calls. They didn't call RPOs. The offense looked different. And the linebackers no longer had to worry about receivers behind them. So whenever you have that, whenever you have that, the linebackers can just tee off on the run game. And that's what we saw in the Texas Bowl with Texas Tech completely going in after the run game. And the offensive line, it looks like they were overwhelmed. But in a lot of those situations, it was 5-on-7 with Texas Tech playing into a tight box and us unable to RPO around it. So it is what it is. But this with Caden Priestcorn, Michael Trigg potentially playing some slot receiver in the future, and he does have to do some work to get his game back to where it needs to be. You have Chris Marshall that needs to get his game where it needs to be. There's some questions, okay? But if this team plays at the top level, if it all hits, if for some reason the transfer portal is very, very nice, all of a sudden, this offense has a chance to be very, very explosive. It is what it is. This is an offense that has a chance to be 2021 level, 2020 level. Whenever this offense was going up and down the field, they have a chance to do that. Now, this is going to go into a quarterback competition between Spencer Sanders and Jackson Dart and Walker Howard. I assume this, and this is just me talking, okay? Don't take this anywhere else. Never say, I heard from Stephen Willis. That makes no sense whatsoever. But looking at this, you have Spencer Sanders, a 4-year starter, thrown for nearly 10,000 yards. He's averaged about 10 picks a year. That's problematic. And you have Jackson Dart, who put up kind of similar numbers. Okay? But the loser of that quarterback competition is going to be the third string quarterback, in my opinion. Whoever wins the quarterback job will be the number one. Whoever loses the quarterback job that is not named Walker Howard will be the third string guy. And Walker Howard will be groomed for 2024. That's what I think. So 50 Cafe says, it's interesting how we went from top end wide receivers to having top end running backs. I hope we can have some more balance moving forward. Yes, absolutely. Ross Morton, does Stephen Willis donate to the Grove Collective? Yeah. It's right there. Well, yeah, you can't see it. But yeah, I do. Ross Morton says Steve is not a true fan. All right. All the trolls are out tonight. So, like I said, I want attention and money. There's some people coming out with their knives out tonight. That's great. And everybody wants money, by the way, Ross. Everybody. So Ray Duncan says, do we even have somebody close to being a Sam Williams to put pressure on the opposing quarterbacks and throw off their timing? Yes, in a way. Now, what I think is going to happen on the defensive line, I watched 4 games last week. Nah, I'm fine, buddy. Somebody close to Cedric Johnson kind of fills that role, but I think this defense is going to look. I looked at 4 games from UTSA and the different multiple fronts that they did. They had Marcus Davenport on their team under Pete Golding whenever they did that. And this was an aggressive defense. And so you really push forward. You really and really attack the offense. Well, What is other YouTubers' ideas? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, okay. I know what's happening. Okay. So we are about to start randomly, going to just start banning people because they're obviously just trolls. Steve doesn't buy his subscribers. Steve hasn't bought his subscribers. Steve is where he is because he was on the staff in the Manning Center. So this is absolutely crazy. So anyway, I am going to handle some business real quick. And it is what it is. So I can play this game all night, ban one account, I'm coming up with another. It doesn't matter because it's not going to change anything, Ross. All it's going to do is make you look like an idiot. Yeah, that's just the fact of the matter. Because all of this doesn't matter. Period. The fact that I am successful and the fact that I've grown over the last year, that is going to piss some people off. And some people are pissed off about it. And the way I've built this show is a full YouTube approach. So they can do it. They can ban whatever. They can do what they want to do. So yeah, it's just one of those things. I could tell you exactly. Yeah, seriously, Michael. Yeah, it's crazy. Quarterbacks on thoughts on the quarterback situation. Basically, I do think that Spencer Sanders and Jackson Dart are basically going to compete for the first and third position. And Walker Howard, if he does not win the job, is going to be the second guy. That's just my opinion. That's how I think this is going to play off. I don't think they get Walker Howard if the third string was an option. I think he's going to be exactly where he is. But yeah, I appreciate everybody in the chat talking about it. There's just some crazy people, but there are some people that don't like it. There are people that don't like what I do because of how successful I've been, and they are trying to punch up, so to speak. And the best thing you can do is just not give them fuel because it is what it is. So we'll see what's up. But anyway, so what is next for Ole Miss? Now, we heard about Deshaun Gaddy. I think there might be something wrong with his transfer or something's going on. And according to, I think it was On3 over there, I think Chuck has been doing some work. There's some cornerback from Georgia Tech that is visiting this weekend to go along with a defensive lineman from Oregon and somebody else. So it is what it is. Now, you take a situation. Becky killed all of us in picks, Michael Speggs. Becky killed all of us in picks. It's been an amazing thing. And she picked just completely random stuff intentionally. She meant to do that and beat all of us people against the spread that was trying to pick it straight up. It was so much fun. And if you want to check out SEC After Dark, Corey Burton from Believe in Georgia Dogs is a co-host on there. Jake's on there from Tide Talk Live, and Jeb Beecham is on there he's just a regular guy and a Tennessee fan. But we talk about that all the time. We do it Wednesday night at 8:30. 8:30. James York says, what's the coaching situation with Crum leaving? I think they're going to hire somebody in. I think they're going to close the transfer portal and then they'll get somebody in. That is my opinion. Jacob McDonald says, we are only here to talk Ole Miss, and that is absolutely the case. Like I said, there's always going to be people that don't like you. There's always going to be people that are out to get you, and there's always going to be people that are jealous of you. And does you no good to necessarily fight that level. Delete them, ban them, ignore them, get on with your day and do what you were doing. Because if you fight their fight, you can't do what you were doing. I just think that I hate that somebody is so immature that can make this show difficult for you guys. That's all. That's the only thing about it. So that's what's looking next for Ole Miss football. The linebacker from Alabama, apparently, iffy, 50-50, one way or the other. And who knows? 50 Cafe says, if Walker were to win the starting job, would that be a wild turn of events? I am looking forward, genuinely looking forward to Walker Howard in this program. I'm excited. That's somebody, when I watched his film, I lit up watching him. And because of that, you have a situation to where you can just see exactly the direction they want to go. It's one of those things you can actually see their vision with him at quarterback. And everything starts to make sense about how they are looking to do this and what's going on. Did not get fired from Ole Miss media. Did not get fired from rivals. Good grief. Folks, I'm sorry about this. I am genuinely sorry about this. Because this isn't fair to you guys. We're just here to have a good time and have fun. And people want to come in and try and interrupt things. And that's fine. I mean, if they want to do it, they want to do it. And that's all good. But I'm not going to get into the dirt with you. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to ban you and move on about the day. The only people you're hurting are the people that are actually looking at this, trying to have a good time, that are wanting to talk Ole Miss sports. I mean, you're no better than Steve Robertson at this point. I mean, I understand you're jealous, you're punching up, and you're doing things like that. But I'm not going to engage. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I didn't think I needed to do that before, but I think I'm going to do that now. I appreciate it, Spaghetti Burner. Just is what it is. I didn't think I had to do that, honestly. I thought people were grown-ups, but apparently they're not. It is what it is. Anyway, that is our live stream tonight, talking about the transfer portal. We are going to live stream again. We're going to do shows all the time. We're going to do what we need to do. But it is what it is. And it's always fun to have trolls. So Mark Coleman says, any other Ole Miss portal entries that are likely to withdraw, such as Iggy? And I think Chuck on On3 might have some information on that. I haven't seen that all exactly, but I think Chuck, who's been doing a heck of a job reporting and doing news, is that. But I am going to do this. I'm going to keep making this fun. We're going to do a commentary. We're going to have perspectives. And we're going to do all of that stuff. And it's completely going to kick ass moving forward. I've got plans for baseball season. I got plans for football season early. So Spaghetti Burner, thank you so much. Thank you, James York. Thank you, whoever came in. Yeah, Michael, right now nobody wants to talk Ole Miss basketball. I can put a football video up and get 2,500 views, and I can put a basketball video up and get 150 at the moment. It just kind of is what it is. So we're going to do that. Next Saturday, I'm doing Epcot, because if you guys really want to be jealous of somebody, my whole job that I do is talk about Ole Miss 10 hours a week and go to Disney. That's what I do. So I like to talk about Ole Miss and do what I can do. We'll see what's up. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Sorry it got out of hand. Sorry trolls hit the chat. I'm going to work on making that subscriber only. That's just not satisfactory at the moment. So we'll see exactly how that goes in the future. So we might make it to where you have to be a subscriber for like 3 days or something like that. So, yes, Tom is about 2.5 weeks from surgery. Definitely pray for Tom. And we're going to have him on the next couple of weeks and doing what's going on. And we're going to have a lot of fun. Well, also, next week, we are unveiling a new show sponsor, which is something everybody is going to be proud about. I can't talk about it right now, but we're going to talk about it in the middle of next week. So that should be pretty good as well. So anyway, we are going to end this tonight. Thank you very much, and I will talk to you later.